I enjoy talking in my chat at the beginning of the day, okay? It what actually makes me feel like a streamer. Because otherwise, I feel like this inanimate Overwatch object into which you don't know about me, I don't know about you. You basically come here, you go hog tank guy, I click on some heads, I swing some hammer, and at the end of the day, we go home, and I don't know you, you don't know me, and if I ever don't play Overwatch or I want to do something different, you're not going to give a f. So I wanted to enjoy being here and know that there's more than just sitting here and hard grinding Overwatch all day long, because I'm going to be honest with you, those days are numbered. Real talk. I see myself playing this game for the next few months. Whenever PvE comes out, we're going to play PvE. And unless PvE is something that you can play for a long, long time, like almost like Destiny style, I'm probably going to want to do other stuff. I'm still going to play Overwatch. Think about that. There have been so many things with this game that I have tried to help and fix for years, and tried to make better, and sometimes get listened to, and sometimes it doesn't. Who knows? Who knows how much longer it'll last? Because I'm gonna be quite frankly honest with you, chat. I think Overwatch can only go so high, and I think that
Beard Gang
we've done all we can in a lot of ways. You know, we've done all we can in a lot of ways. And I think that PvE is going to be a lot of fun. And I think there's going to be cool events and stuff that are going to still make me want to play it. But, like, there's also things like streamer mode. Like, the fact that it's been, like, 7 years and it's still not a thing. We still just get neglected. Why am I going to keep playing this game all the time?
I am here for your...
Like, if you've seen here the last couple days, right? If you've been here yesterday, the day before I didn't stream. The day before that, we played Pokemon, right? You were here for the past couple Pokemon streams. That kind of made me remember what I actually really enjoy about streaming more than anything else. I would say, if you've been here for the last couple days, right? Having the Pokemon streams been a blast. They're so much more fun. And why? I'm not endlessly queuing ranked. Or queuing even quick play, which is just diet ranked. And being chased around the map all day long. And all this other. And I'm not saying when I move into the arc where we just watch videos and do stupid, but like, I still want to play games. It's like, how much longer can this keep kind of going? Because my brain's frying. I can't even play a game half the time. Every time I get into a game, I got someone chasing me around, snipers, and half the time it's not even snipers. They don't even watch my stream. They're just like, oh, I know who that is. I want to go f them up so I can get a clip later. If they were snipers, like, it's different. Like, if you're someone who's, like, watching their stream and sniping, hell, at least they're watching the stream. They're gonna get hit with an ad every once in a while. It's not even that. They don't even get hit with an ad. They just kind of come out of whatever, you know? Yeah, there's ways around it. Yeah, I could rename. Yeah, I can make alt accounts. Yeah, I could do all this other shit. But the fact that Overwatch doesn't move, and they don't give a and they don't care, and, like, they released the client-side only streamer mode, and now ranked, everyone's complaining about ranked and talking about how bad it is. I don't really have much to say. I think the queues need to be fast. If the queues aren't fast, the game will just die again. That's real talk. And they're doing whatever they can to save it, but then the quality of the game sucks. And then quick play and ranked are the same game. So it's not like you can leave ranked to go play quick play and have a good time. You do the same thing. Ranked and quick play are the exact same game, you know? Like, they're literally the same. There's no difference between ranked and quick play nowadays. The way it works is still the same. So it's like, if you're being matched per role, like GM tank, Diamond DPS, Master DPS, and that's the same thing in quick play. It's the same thing. Basically, though, I want to start doing new shit. I want to start exploring new shit, having a good time, you know? That's what I think is the true future. That's what I think is the true future. We'll have a good time with it. I swear quick play is bad because it's all sweats and tryhards. Well, it's because it's whatever rank you're at. Like, quick play used to be, you know, some games you get stomped because you played against good players. In some games, you kind of did some stomping because you're playing against lower rank players, and then some games were much closer because you're playing against people in the same rank. That's not the thing anymore. You just constantly play against, like, tight MMR, like you're playing ranked type of deal. It's the same game. Plus, Overwatch is probably one of the most unfriendly streamer games on the planet. We have no streamer mode. We can't play with friends. Think about that. We can't play with friends. How many games out there can you not play with your friends in? Like, really? We can't even stack. if you can only play unranked or quick play with them, so you can't play ranked. Every game is kind of a shit show because you got people that are like, some people are diamond, some people are GM, some people are plat, some people are masters. So everyone's pissed at the games. Balance wise, it's actually pretty decent right now. Why can't you play with friends? I feel like people don't know about this for like a lot of things. You know, it's like, you know, in GM Plus you can only duo queue, right? Like you can, like, if somebody in your group has Grandmaster or above, even 5, Grandmaster 5, you cannot hit the Q button if there's more than 2 people in the game. Can't do it. It's not possible. That's why whenever you see, like, you know, you see me and Emong playing, or me and Seagull playing, like, you're always like, people are like, oh, why don't you add Jay to the group? Why don't you add Car Q? You know, like, you'd say all these things. Like, we can't. We literally, legally, in the game, can't. It doesn't let us. You can't queue. It doesn't let you. The game doesn't allow you to. Not everyone is GM, but this is a perfect example, though, is because I'm good at the game, I'm put in a f***ing box. And then everyone else goes, well, I don't have to deal with that problem, so f*** off then. Because nobody cares. It doesn't affect you. But you know what does affect you? You know what's really funny? I talked about this back at the release of Overwatch. I talked about the 3900 system. In Overwatch 1, I told everyone that the system sucked because everyone got put from wherever in GM they were back to 3900, no matter what, right? And I told everyone that system sucked. And then they implemented it in Overwatch 2. You know what that was in Overwatch 2? That was where you were getting rolled back 2 ranks, and everyone's getting reset to bronze and resetting to silver. And they're like, what the heck? They reset my rank. What the But in the background, your MMR was still high. So you had to play a bunch of games to climb back up, but people hated it. Everyone got mad. Everyone hated the system. Oh, rules for thee, but not for me, huh? So it's like they took a system that we've been forced to have for years, applied it to everybody else who didn't care. They all hated it and screamed, and now they got rid of it. Do you not see the problem? There's a problem. You know what the problem is? There's not enough voices. The voices are too quiet. We're drowned out. Just saying, if they took our rules and applied them to everybody else, everyone would hate the game. Everyone would be pissed. Everyone would sit there and go, this is the stupidest game of all time. I'm not playing ever again. It's literally what happened. Everyone got mad. And they even said they're removing the rank resets. They're removing it. They're getting rid of the resets? Yes, the last one just happened. Season 4 will not have a reset. You will be whatever rank you're at. Same thing. Same logic applies to stacking. The same exact logic. Same exact logic. Thank God. But this is a perfect example of people don't care because the rules don't apply to you. So you're like, you, I don't care. But so if I complain about it and I'm like, I don't like this, you can sit there back on your little chair and go, well, stop complaining. Well, you don't deal with it. It's not a problem to you. So why do you care if I don't like it? You know? It's actually so ass. And you know what the worst part of it is? The worst part of it is if this was Masters 1, there's barely any difference between these 2 ranks. And you know what's even worse about that? Because the ranking system works like this, where both tanks are top 500, right? Let's say both tanks are top 500. Then the DPS are Diamond and Masters. And then the supports are Plat and Masters, right? You could never queue with a Plat player, ever. But they'll be in your game, right? There's a Plat player in a top 500 in your game, because that's how the matchmaker works. But you can't play with friends, because that's not fair, because the matchmaker puts people in by role, where if I queued with 3 other GM people, it should put me against 3 other GM people on our roll. So if, say, me and Seagull and Emong play, and Emong's top 500 tank, and me and Seagull are both GM DPS, they should put us against a top 500 tank and 2 GM DPS, and then both of our supports are randomly ranked. That is how the system works. So in theory, it should be able to work with stacking that way. But they don't give a f***. They've never cared. There's this bullshit logic for forever of balanced games. One, that's bullshit. It doesn't exist. Like, everyone's been screaming for balanced games since this game's been released in Overwatch 1. You wait, the biggest problem earlier in Season 1 and 2 is people like Emong would wait 20 minutes in queue during primetime middle of the day. You'd sit there for 20 minutes, get a 3-minute push game, and get sent back into a 20-minute game. If the system already works this way, where you'll have everybody's matched up by role, then stacking should theoretically be fine. There shouldn't be a problem because everyone's getting matched based on their individual rank for whatever role they're on. Theoretically, there is no difference now for stacking. As long as the matchmaker behaves in that way, it should work. If that is actually truly how it works, theoretically it should be fine. But they just don't give a because there's this old preconception of, oh, we can't let people stack. They're gonna game the system. They're gonna VPN to Australia at 4:30 in the morning. And it's gonna ruin competitive integrity. What competitive integrity? What competitive integrity at this point? Every single person in top 500 has been GM1 since the first day. The only one was Tank. Tank wasn't GM1 for like 4 days, and now everyone's GM1. Everyone's so high up inflated at this point at the top level, we don't even know what the difference is. If you're GM1, how the f do you know how far away you are from GM1 top 500 Tank? You don't know. You actually have no clue. If you're GM1 and you're like, okay, I'm GM1 on Tank, right? How far until you get to top 500? You have no clue. You actually don't know. How is that competitive? That's not competitive integrity. That's nothing. It's literally non-existent. That's bullshit. And Tank is the least inflated. The big one is DPS. DPS in every single season has been GM1. Like, and it's not even close. Okay, maybe not season 1, but at least season 2, right? Season 2, boom, GM1. Tank, GM3. Support, I think, was also GM1 by the end. But this was like right at the end. It ticked over like in the last week. DPS though, it had been that way since like week 3, right? Either way though, point is, I just don't see long term. I just don't see long term how it's sustainable as a creator to stay here. You know, like what's the point? Like you can't play with friends. You just play endlessly ranked all day long. You're basically at the whims of are the metas good or are they not good? You know, you got good teammates, you got bad teammates. If you got good teammates, you know, you got like plat players who don't give a shit about the game, which is, you know, like if that's how the matchmaker is going to work, that's fine. But then theoretically, I should be able to make my experience what I want it to be with stacking. There's so many things that I think of that, like streamer mode's a joke. Streamer mode, and it's client side only. It protects me from myself. That's it. Streamer mode, client only. If I hit this button, it would show you guys like what my settings are for like queue times and stuff like that. That's the only decent thing about the streamer mode, is you can set a delay for how long until it queues you into a game. Everything else is client side only. You know what's even better? You know what's actually even better? In Overwatch 1, there was a season 2+, 3+ years ago when they implemented that 3900 system. Basically, at the beginning of the season, you'd always be reset to 3900. See my support SR? See how this is 3900? Because that was the maximum I could place. I played 5 games. I placed 3900. That was the maximum. When the first season they implemented this, it was off of SR only. SR only, not MMR. So everybody stacked for like 3 games. 3 games. I can show you it. I actually have it. I have it archived. It's one of the first YouTube videos I ever uploaded. They saw us all stacking and having fun for 3 games at the start of the season and said, you guys can't do that. And took it away. And the next season it was gone. 3 games. I'll tell you how this game ended. Does anyone see it in the top left? Does anyone see it? We lost. That was our 1 game we got to play together. We lost. And guess what? We got to never do it again. Got taken away. It was so much fun for us to all get to play together. And you get to see it every once in a while. You see these glimpses of it when... Oh, God. You see the glimpses every once in a while when, like, Tim comes back and we all go on off rolls. But we weren't off rolling. We were all on our main roles. We were all try-harding what people like to see. We were all trying. We were all calming. We were trying to win. We were all at our best. We weren't just, like, around. Something that was taken from us. Would you be happy with GM being allowed to 3-stack? I think you just unlock it. Just unlock. If you're gonna 3-stack, unlock it entirely. Make it so it's 1, 2, 3, and 5 stacks. No 4 stacking. 1, 2, 3, and 5. There's a reason for that. The reason for that is because 4 stacks will typically gang up on the 1 player. If it's 3 stacking, prefer to put you with a duo queue. If you can't get the duo queue, obviously that's hard, but like if you stack, there should be a literal warning that says, hey, warning, by playing with more than 2 players, your queue times may be longer than normal, right? Let the player know. Get a literal big box that has at the bottom of the screen. Warning, playing with more than 2 players will give you abnormally long queue times. That way I go, okay, I accept. I know it's gonna be a long queue. You queue in with 3 players, it should try to put you with another duo queue on your team. That way, because of the psychology of how stacking kind of happens, those 3 players, if they're aggressive and toxic, are going to gang up on the other players in their lobby. At least if it's a duo queue, it's like a 2 versus 3 situation, and they can kind of like fight back, and they kind of have each other to protect each other psychologically in a ranked game. 4 stack, absolutely off the table. Do not allow it. Because 4 stacking is just toxic as shit. Will gang up on the 1 player that's not stacked. 5 stacking should be allowed. Because 5 stacking, you have everybody of the same team that's all playing together. Same warning. Playing with more than 2 players will give you abnormally long queue times. And if it's still the same system, it should be able to match you up with players that are all of this equal ranks. You know, if they're all DPS, it'll try to find 5 DPS players. You know what that also does? That also fixes the problem that people have with playing with plats in their games, and they hate it. They're like, oh my god, I hate all these plat players in my game. What the f? You keep the fast queue times for people that play solo, and so they can keep having their good fast games, and they can just keep endlessly queuing ranked, because that's realistically all they want to do. And also the players that are more hardcore and they want to have the more try-hard ranked experience, or want to play with their friends, they can go and play stacks. And this is how you develop the whole Apex system. Like Apex has Discord servers full of the pred players and master players who always team up with each other, and they always, you'll never see pred players who are like the top 500 of Apex, or Masters players solo. You never see it. You very, 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 very rarely see it. That way they have a very good experience, they have a team-based experience, they have fun, and they're actually playing like as a team to win, and they all have equal goals, playing against people that also have equal goals and they want to win. You have high competitive matchmaking, you have things people look forward to, while also preserving the experience of the solo queue player. Everybody wins. Granted, the problem comes if you have a 5 stack and they need a match against another 5 stack and nobody's on. That can be kind of spooky, right? At what point do you allow them versus not allow them? I would argue that you could allow a 5 stack versus a 3 stack and a 2 stack. I think that's semi-fair, but we could get more data with that over time. If that's not fair, then just, that's it. You queue as a 5 stack, you could wait 2 hours and not get a game. That's what you get for 5 stacking though. If you try to 5 stack and you wait 2 hours in queue, you at least are still trying to play with your friends. The same thing happened in season 1 of Overwatch. Bulgur had a 7.5 hour long queue. It's gonna happen. You know, it's gonna happen. And I think that's okay. But you still give players the option to play with friends and control their own experience in their own hands. And I'm so sick of them hiding behind the idea of competitive integrity, because ranked is so scuffed. There is no competitive integrity. The only competitive integrity that's still left is to make sure people don't cheat. That's it.